Sean O'Malley is one of the most polarizing characters in the UFC. From casual fans to really adoring him, to hardcore saying that he's hype, and to some hardcore saying that he's underrated in some parts of his game. But he definitely grabs attention with his big strikes, spinning kicks, high kicks, and his style and attitude just bring a lot of appeal to many different fans, and he's really reaching out to perhaps people who wouldn't normally watch the UFC, a younger audience. Plus, visually, he's just hard not to look at with his many tattoos and how he dyes his hair every fight, and plus the way he speaks in press conferences and interviews. He is definitely somebody to look at. Even though the clips I just showed you kind of showcases that there's a lot going on in his style, there is a method to the madness. O'Malley first starts with his footwork. He's known for moving very well and being very light on his feet and very quick. And he'll combine this with his feints. A feint is just a beginning of a movement, beginning of showing yourself kicking, showing yourself moving away. Here we can see Chris Martinez trying to put pressure, and Sean O'Malley feints like he's going to go into him, and it stops Chris Martinez and allows O'Malley to reset. Here he uses a very similar tactic to get Paiva to guess where he's going to move, and this allows him to get his back off the fence. He even uses it to set up strikes. Here we see him back on the fence. He's moving, and he'll show his right leg's coming up like he's going to throw a front kick. He sees that Almeida lowers his hand, and then he adjusts. How? By throwing a right round kick around the hands of Thomas Almeida and scores. Here we see him feint the spin when he looks away from Thomas Almeida, and he uses this twice in a row, and we've seen him do this a couple times in the UFC now. And of course, his feints always set up the big right hand. That's probably Sean O'Malley's most prolific weapon. Here he shows the uppercut, Eddie Wineland drops his hand, and it makes room for the right hand. Another thing that comes up a lot in Sean O'Malley's fights is the front kick. He uses this a lot in most of his fights. It's a great tool to pierce the opponent's body or go up to the head. And it can make an opponent pay for coming forward in straight lines, so you hit them to the body and they'll feel winded. Or if they move back at distance, they're going to get hit again. And he can mix it up to the head if he wants to. This is a great tool as it keeps the opponent at distance. Plus, it's much harder to catch a front kick to the body than a round kick to the body. As you can see, Sean uses it many times with his left leg, and we'll see him use it with his right leg as well, depending on which stance he's in. As a result, his opponents feel like they either have to move very close and close the distance on him, or they could stand back. But if the opponent stands back, then they're going to have to deal with all the kicks and different strikes that Sean O'Malley is going to throw at them, and the feints as well. If the opponent freezes up in boxing range, Sean will try to use his quickness to land the right hand. One of his best techniques come when opponents are in pursuit of him. He'll throw out a light punch, and an opponent comes in, and he'll come back with a 1-2. Very common. We see this here with Thomas Almeida as well, where he throws a jab, moves back, waits for the counter, and throws a 1-2 again. And sometimes, when the opponent will be in pursuit of him, trying to cross the distance, they'll just end up running into a right hand. It'll be really interesting to see how Sean O'Malley does against former champion Petr Yan at UFC 280 in Abu Dhabi. Sean O'Malley, as I said, he does have an interesting game that consists of a lot of different strikes, but all those opponents I showed you that he fought aren't really the best test to see if he's championship material. Petr Yan is a former UFC champion. He's also a top 5 bantamweight in this very tough weight class, so it'll be intriguing to see how he does against the former champ, who also has very good striking, plus his wrestling to back it up. Hope you guys enjoy the fights. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Fans Assemble. Please also take a look at the description and follow us on all of our podcasting platforms and Apple and Spotify podcasts. It really helps with the quality of the show so we can bring a better product to you, and also more shows that we could do consisting of sports and entertainment and even more MMA. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it because I enjoyed making it, and hope you enjoy the fights.